if you're going to have a pivotal goal in the game, you want it to be something that's pleasing in the eye rather than a scrappy, horrible goal or a mistake. So from that point of view, I think that gave us a bit of breathing space in the game.
Plenty of celebrations from the fans, from the players as well. I imagine you'll be telling them, right, let's just keep our cooler still next week now.
I mean, to be honest with you, what can you do? If you don't celebrate, people think that you're not happy about winning. If you do celebrate, people think you go overboard about it, and I don't think anybody's overboard. We celebrate with the fans because they've travelled down to acknowledge them. But no, absolutely, I think that we came in and everyone was very calm in the dressing room. There was no real elation. We're delighted with the 3 points, but we know that there's still 3 teams in it for next week, and football has got a nasty habit of kicking you in the teeth when you least expect it. So, but what we can do is we can prepare for the game, knowing that we've got a chance. It's still just a chance, but
You say during the week, his biggest game was Scottish football. Do you think it lived up to that?
I don't know if in terms of overall quality in football, but in terms of commitment.
Yeah.
I think you had 2 teams this weekend where I give you any more than Morton and Stranraer today. Every single player was working, chasing, they were tired, they were busting their backside to get back or up the pitch. And as I said, in terms of overall quality, I'll let other people make that judgment, but in terms of 100% effort, then yeah, of course, I don't think there'd be two other teams who really gave as much in the game, and they knew it was at stake, and you expect that, but it was a
few tasty challenges.
Yeah, there was. I mean,
at the end, and a couple of red cards.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I can't really see the criticism when I know that Ross Caldwell with a bus lip. But again, I don't know. He had a bus lip, so I don't know whether it's a hand off or whether he's because only over the other side. But Vicky deserved things off. I've no argument. It's reckless and dangerous. If you're reckless and dangerous, it's a red card. So I've got no problem with that as well.
There's been a lot of chat in the last couple of weeks about crucial games and the way that they're played, whether they're all played at the same time. Or do you think it suited you this afternoon that you knew what the scores had been elsewhere before you took to the pitch?
I know it suited us. I think there was only one team where it suited us from that. Because I knew that if fought for loss, and I could have won the league today. And the fact that they would have won, they would have put themselves. If anything, it made it more difficult for us. Because they were, they closed the goal difference and stuff like that. So if they score 3 goals or to win 3-1 away, I think would be even more difficult. But as I said, we had one objective from day one, which was to be challenging for the title, and we are. And today the only objective was to get 3 points, and we've managed that. So there's a game to go next week, and then we'll see what happens.
It's an interesting situation next week as well, because a win might not be good enough because you'll have to.
Because you're going to goal difference. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So but all you can do is try and win the match and then see what happens. If you win the match 1-0. And someone else wins whatever amount of goals is required, 4 or 5, then there's nothing you can do about that. You can only try and win the game. It's difficult enough to win games in this league without trying to give yourself a target. I mean, it's absolutely, and it's so difficult. You see that the game today, there's no games. I mean, you've seen enough of these games in this division to know that every team is so difficult to play against. So we'll see what happens next week, but we can enjoy the build.
Other words to sum up the sort of 90 minutes you've been through there and the way you're feeling now?
I need to be careful what I say, I think. So I might get myself in trouble. The big turning, first and foremost, I thought my players were excellent. So I need to say that first and foremost. I thought they gave everything. I thought for long spells they were better than Morton. I don't think anybody can deny that. The turning point came for me was the penalty decision. And I've no relation it back as such, but talking to Morton players, apparently even Pierre Madonna apologised. I think he went in down maybe too easy, and that certainly changed the flow of the game. It gave Morton a lift because up until then they weren't in again. In the second goal we're probably just still caught for the penalty. Probably the incident was probably just going to be caught us. But second half we gave it everything we had. We flung everything at them. We had how they missed the 2 penalty kicks we should have got. I don't know. Again, I'm gobsmacked how we can miss the clear handball that they've seen. So it was disappointing, but I feel for the players more than anything, because they've been great and they're disappointed in there. It looks as if now that's the league we're going to fall from Morton. I think we need to accept it, that it's going to happen, but we have to pick ourselves back up. We have to go to Brecon next week and try and win a game, and then get ready for the playoffs and make sure that we try and get through that way, because they certainly deserve it.
I was looking around at the final whistle and there were several players just sitting on the ground, looking down at the ground, because it was very much the case of seeing the league title disappear from your grasp today.
Yeah, well, obviously it's still, we can still win it, and we need to remember we can still win it, you know, but we need things to go your way next week, and I'm sure the teams that are playing will give it their all, you know, but you've got to look at the Forfar and Morton winning a home game, you know, but although they're still fighting for their lives as well down there, so all we can try and do is win a game, you know, but I think if we're honest enough, then that's probably why we're so disappointed, because I think today was a big one, you know, and certainly in terms of play, in terms of domination of play, in terms of chances, then we were certainly a team that deserved to win the game. But football's like that, I can say it to Morton. You know, they've got their goals at the right times, defended well, you know, so you have to give them credit as well. But I'm just disappointed on players, because football's cruel. It's a cruel game, it always is, it'll never change. You know, when you look at fixtures all the world, you never get what you deserve in football, and that's certainly one of the occasions.
It was a fairly high octane encounter generally, 2 red cards. There was some fairly high octane stuff on the sidelines as well. Would you say it was a bad tempered game?
I don't think so. I just think there's a lot at stake for both sides, you know. I think one decision the referee got right was their sending off. You know, that was a wild challenge. They all sending off, I just thought 2 players just allowed to go for each other, you know, and how he gave a red card for that I don't know, but it probably summed up his performance, to be honest.
How do you love the players after this?
Well, one thing about the group of players we've got is every time they've took a knock, they've bounced straight back, you know, and there's no way for me to think they do it differently. They're a great group, they're a great bunch, and they deserve to be up where they are, you know, and I'm sure, I'm confident they'll pick themselves back up. We'll get them back into training this week, we'll get working away again, we've always done, and we'll prepare for Beacon, and we'll go and try and win a game. If we do that, at 4:45 we'll see where it puts us, you know, and likelihood is it'll be the playoffs, but my players were ready for that, there's no doubt about that.
How much were you paying attention to the Forfar game this afternoon?
Obviously with the kick-off, for us being later, it was also going to affect the outcome, you know, and affect what we're thinking. You know, and I was saying for Morton as well, it wasn't just us, you know, if Forfar didn't win the game, also we knew it was at stake, great chance for Morton as well to put them in driving seats. So, but it was about what we done, you know, it was about us today, you know, and certainly on what we gave. We deserve to lose that game, you know, and I think everybody would agree that was the case, you know. But football is about putting the ball back in the net, you know, when it happened a couple of weeks ago in the Hibs Falkirk game, Hibs probably deserved to win, but Falkirk put the ball in the net, so this year you give Morton credit for that, they get goals at the right time, you know, and it'll be difficult for us.
There's probably a mark of Stranraer this season that it's the first time I've come away from a game thinking that you deserved to get something, but didn't.
Yeah, I think a few times, certainly down at Camplo, just because it's Morton, it's focus now. I thought down there we deserved to get something from them as well. But football's like that, you know. Football always kicks you in the face, and when you're not expecting
and other
it.
places as well.
Yeah, you're right. So, as I say, credit to Morton, you know, when they've come down, the pressure's on them. You're the big club, the full-time club. I would expect them to go and win, you know. But I think out there for 90 minutes, I've got to say we matched them, but I think we've done more than matched them, you know. And I think another day we could be standing here with the 3 points, but it wasn't to be. You know, we'll lick our wounds and we'll pick ourselves back up and we'll go again.
Is it? And just finally, I mean, is it a mark of how far Stranraer have come that we're one of the smallest squads and not a huge budget in the league that you'll almost be looking at the playoffs as something of a disappointment now?
Obviously because we came a long way this season. Some people look at it that way. You know, I mean, for me, last season was great. You know, I think nobody expected the fight between the two big sides. And you look at where we've came now and look to where they're filming at. You know, I think without, my maths might not be good, but with 12 points ahead of them, 13 points, somebody will probably tell me. So it's been a massive turnaround for us. The last season we finished with 51 points. As we sit with one game to go, I think we're on 64. You know, so we've improved again. And if you said that to end of last year, you'll improve the team from last year, they probably wouldn't have done that. You know, so credit to the club, credit to the players and my staff. That we're competing with teams with big budgets and the full-time players, you know, and that just makes it even more remarkable that they're challenging. But certainly what happens from the end of the season, the players can hold their heads up high, because I said last year they put us around the map, and I think even now we're further forward than that, so credit to them.
Just a word about Brecon, they're obviously locked in 4th place, so they don't have anything to aspire to. That must be something in your favour going up there next week.
Well, it can work both ways. I mean, the Brecon will do the right thing, looking after themselves. You know, they've got the playoffs and deserve to be in the playoffs. I think they've done great this season again. but it'll give your players an opportunity. If he's looking at the playoffs, which he might do, then he'll look at maybe good players that's not playing an opportunity to come in. So it can work both ways. You know, we just have to go and try and win a game. That's all we can do, and then it's over to Forfar and Morton. And whoever finishes top of the league after 36 games is the team that deserves to win it. I don't think anybody can take that away. And I think the 3 teams that's been up there this year have took huge credit because they've slugged it out for Christmas. Week in, week out, we've matched each other, we've took it right to distance, and it's still got the last game of the season. It's been a competitive league, probably the most competitive league in Scotland, if we're honest. And the fact that Stranraer's out there kind of competing makes me proud because a group of players, nobody gave them a chance at the start of the season, and there's 2 or 3 big games left in them. I can assure you that.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. You can still go up.
You're right.
Still
You're right.
2
You know,
more.
it's sore at the moment,
You
but
know?
I say we'll pick ourselves back up and we'll go again. So we'll just get our best shot.
Good luck.